The morning was eerily quiet, the kind of silence that feels heavy, like the world is holding its breath before something happens. Sarah woke to the faint sound of giggles echoing down the hallway, the kind of innocent laughter only 2-year-old twins could make. She smiled sleepily, thinking how those giggles were the light of her life, the only thing that had kept her going through months of pain and uncertainty. But when she got up and walked toward the living room, the laughter stopped suddenly. Her heart skipped a beat. The air felt different, tense, almost charged. And that's when she saw it, her baby twins, Emma and Noah, sitting on the floor right in front of the front door, their tiny bodies blocking it completely as if guarding something on the other side. Their eyes were wide and curious, staring at the door with an intensity that sent chills down her spine. Sarah's pulse quickened. She whispered their names, softly, but they didn't turn around. Something was wrong. Trembling, she reached for the doorknob, and the moment she opened it, her world changed forever. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, miracles, and second chances, please like this video, share it with your loved ones, and subscribe to our channel for more stories that touch the heart. Sarah had always been a fighter. Life had tested her again and again, but motherhood had given her a reason to keep standing. Just a year ago, she lost her husband, Adam, in a tragic car accident. They had been married for 5 years. 5 years of love, dreams, and struggle. Adam wasn't just her husband, he was her best friend, her anchor. Losing him shattered her completely. And the worst part? She was 7 months pregnant when the accident happened. She remembered collapsing on the hospital floor, screaming until her voice gave out, begging the universe to take her instead. But life doesn't bargain. Life demands that you keep breathing even when your heart stops beating. When Emma and Noah were born 2 months later, premature and fragile, Sarah thought she wouldn't survive the pain of seeing Adam's eyes in them. But those tiny babies, their soft cries, their warm little hands, gave her purpose again. She promised Adam in the quiet of her nights that she would give their children the best life possible, even if she had to do it alone. But being alone with twin infants was not easy. Sarah lived in a small town, worked 2 jobs, and barely had time to sleep. Bills piled up. The house needed repairs. She often went to bed crying, not from sadness alone, but from exhaustion, the kind that drains the soul. Still, every morning she would look at her twins and smile. "I'll be okay," she'd whisper. "Oh, Mommy's got you." That particular morning, though, something felt different. The air smelled faintly of rain even though the sky was clear. As she stood there, staring at the twins blocking the door, she felt a strange mix of fear and curiosity. Emma's small hand was clutching Noah's shirt, as if trying to stop him from moving. Sarah noticed the twins were both whispering softly to each other, but in that eerie, synchronized, baby babble that made no sense to adults. Then Emma turned around, looked up at Sarah with wide eyes, and pointed at the door. "Po mama, dada." Sarah froze. She hadn't taught them that word. Adam's name, Dada, hadn't been spoken in months. It was too painful. Tears stung her eyes as she tried to process what she just heard. "When Dada?" she repeated, kneeling down. Both children nodded enthusiastically and pointed again toward the door. Sarah's trembling hand reached for the handle. The moment she turned it, a gust of cold air rushed in. And then, she saw it. Outside the door, on the old wooden porch, lay a single white envelope. No one was there. No footsteps, no car, no sound. Just that envelope, perfectly placed right in front of the door as if waiting to be found. The twins clapped and giggled, saying, "Dada, Dada," again and again. Sarah felt her knees weaken. She picked up the envelope, her heart pounding in her chest. Written on it, in familiar handwriting, were the words, "For Sarah, from Adam." Her vision blurred instantly. She stumbled back inside, clutching the envelope like it was made of gold. Her hands shook so violently she could barely open it. Inside, there was a folded letter and a small flash drive. The letter smelled faintly like Adam's old cologne. Her tears splashed onto the paper as she began to read. "Oh, my dearest Sarah, if you're reading this, it means life has played its cruel hand, and I'm no longer there beside you. But please don't cry, my love. I made sure you'd still feel me close. This isn't goodbye. It's a reminder that love doesn't die. It changes form. It becomes the wind that touches your hair, the laughter of our children, the strength in your heart when you think you can't go on. On this drive, you'll find something I was working on before the accident. Thing for you and the twins. Promise me you'll open it when you're ready." The letter ended there. Sarah sobbed uncontrollably, clutching the paper to her chest. The twins crawled closer, wrapping their tiny arms around her as if sensing her heartbreak. Hours passed before she finally gathered enough courage to plug the flash drive into her old laptop. The screen flickered, and then she saw Adam. It was a video. He looked tired, but he was smiling that familiar warm smile that made her heart melt. "Hey, love," he began. "If you're watching this, I guess I couldn't keep my promise to always come home, but I didn't want to leave without saying a few things." He spoke softly, every word like a whisper to her soul. He talked about how much he loved her, how proud he was of her strength, and how much he believed in her ability to raise their twins. "Sarah, you're stronger than you think. Don't let grief steal your laughter. Teach our babies to love life, to see kindness in the world, even when it feels dark. Promise me you'll keep going. Promise me you'll live." By the end of the video, Sarah was crying so hard she couldn't breathe. But underneath the pain, something began to change inside her, a flicker of warmth, a reminder that she wasn't truly alone. Adam had left her one last gift, a reason to keep fighting. That night, she couldn't sleep. She replayed the twins' laughter, their mysterious intuition about the envelope, the strange calmness in the air before she found it. Part of her wanted to believe it was coincidence, but deep down she knew, love has its own way of finding us, even from beyond. The next morning, she decided to do something she hadn't done in a long time. Live. She made pancakes for the twins, sang Adam's favorite song while feeding them, and even stepped outside into the sunlight with a smile. Days turned into weeks, and little by little, life began to shift. She started a small online business selling handmade crafts, something Adam had always encouraged her to do. The work gave her purpose, and the twins filled her days with laughter and chaos that slowly healed her heart. But one night, months later, something happened again. Something that reminded her that miracles don't just happen once. It was a rainy evening. The twins were asleep, and Sarah was finishing some orders for her business when the lights flickered. The power went out completely. She lit a candle and sat by the window, watching the rain pour. Then she heard it, the faint sound of the twins laughing in their sleep. She smiled, but her smile faded when she heard a soft knock at the door. Her heart raced. She wasn't expecting anyone. Slowly she got up, candle in hand, and walked to the door. She hesitated for a moment, then opened it, and froze. On the porch, in the dim candlelight, was another envelope. No one around, just the letter. Her hands trembled as she opened it. This time, it wasn't from Adam. It was from someone she didn't know, but the handwriting was eerily familiar. "Dear Sarah, your husband helped me once. Years ago, he saved me when I was at my lowest. I promised him that if he ever needed something, I would be there. After his accident, I found this address among his things. I know it's late, but I wanted to fulfill my promise. There's a small trust fund he had started for the twins. He wanted them to have a chance to dream big. He said you'd find the strength to carry on, and he was right. I hope this helps you and your children live the life he dreamed for you." Sarah dropped the letter as tears filled her eyes again. Her knees gave way, and she sat there on the floor, crying into the night, whispering thank yous to the universe, to Adam, to whoever had helped her husband keep one last promise. The next day, she opened the account mentioned in the letter, and found a modest but life-changing sum, enough to pay off her debts, fix the house, and secure her children's future. It wasn't just money. It was hope. It was Adam's love, still protecting her from beyond the veil. From that day forward, Sarah made a vow. She would not let grief define her. She would honor Adam by living with gratitude, by raising their twins with kindness, and by believing that love, real love, never truly dies. It just changes shape and keeps watching over us. Years later, when Emma and Noah started school, Sarah found herself standing at the doorway once again, watching them run into the sunlight, their laughter echoing in the morning air. She smiled through her tears, feeling a gentle breeze brush against her cheek, almost like a kiss, and she knew Adam was still there. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us bring more real, emotional stories to life that remind the world of love, faith, and second chances. Before you go, tell us in the comments, do you believe that love can reach us even from beyond? As Sarah watched her twins disappear down the path, she whispered softly into the wind, "We're okay, Adam. We're finally okay." And for the first time in years, her heart felt whole again.